to the bike show, coming to you this week from the MotoGP at Silverstone. Actually, I lie, only I am here at Silverstone. Matt and Harry are thankfully still at home, and therefore the rest of the show will feature only them, which no doubt is going to be a cock-up. And the first cock-up is something they call Power Hour.
Hope it's raining.
Yeah, a lot.
Because it's not raining here, is it?
Yeah, just a minor flood of kind of biblical proportions where he hopes he knows a bloke called Noah.
Anyway, moving swiftly on, Don is completely right. The producers are sick of us taking 3 days to film one bike.
Yeah, they think we're lazy.
Yeah, so they've given us an hour, and we don't know what the bike is.
Yes, it's going to arrive in a van, talking of which,
here it
comes.
Oh, it's going to be something exotic.
Well, you've got to know the first time we do this, yeah, it's going to be a £1,000,000 superbike of some description, or
yeah,
an exotic one-off custom, maybe.
Hey, it could be the new BMW HP4.
Oh, first time in South Africa,
yeah,
it could be that.
That's going to be that. So
okay.
we've got an hour. We don't know what it is, but we've got an hour.
Don't beat around the bush, man.
Right,
get into the van.
All right.
Yes.
It's not a BMW.
Okay.
Possibly not that exotic either.
It's not sounding good.
No, it could be interesting. Come and have a look.
You didn't mention there's two of them.
Yeah, I might have missed that bit out.
This challenge gets harder and harder.
So it's half an hour per bike. How much do you need?
Nice. That one looks even better. We've obviously got a scrambler version of, well, of whatever it is. What is it?
Right.
What are they?
Let's have a look. I have the spec sheet right here. These are called Crosby TT400s.
I can see that much is written there. Who brings them in and where do you buy them?
This is imported into South Africa from China by V Custom Motorcycles in Pretoria.
Oh.
I think they look fabulous.
I think they do as well. Well, that's an easy one to answer, isn't it? Because, I don't know if it's just me, but they look fantastic.
They look brilliant, don't they? This is like a proper 60s Triumph Roadster, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that, with all its blacked-out rims and the blacked-out exhaust, it looks fabulous.
Absolutely
Super
brilliant.
cool.
And I love the fact that they've gone even to the effort of putting on the chunky rubber. Looks like
Chunky
Wets
rubber.
is the off-road version of the rubber.
Blacked-out mud guards on that.
What is the rubber? Can we see?
Blimey, it's...
Kling Tong Dai.
Dong ding on that one and dong dong on that one.
Spoke wheels, lovely touch.
Black rims, always works. Black hubs as well on that.
Yeah, traditional round headlight. The paint's good, I like it. It's all kind of grown up and restrained. And I have to say, I don't know if this was intentional, I have a feeling that it probably was.
Go on.
Crosby, is that done in the Triumph? That reminds me of the Triumph
That is
logo.
the Triumph, though, with the R going over to the... Yeah.
And it's called the TT400. There is an unashamed Union Jack, so they're definitely calling on that Chinese-English alliance thing.
Is there one?
I'm not sure, but there is now.
No, it is, as you say, it's unashamedly
And Crosby,
retro.
do you know why Crosby? Can you think?
It's the village and it's one of the corners in the Isle of Man, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. So,
Very
looks
nice.
Oh, they've nailed it, haven't they? Simple as that.
Completely.
Has it got any? Well, you'd think the answer, Harry, would be no, there's not any equipment on them, but...
There is, but not in the way you think.
No, in a kind of retro way.
Look at that. That's a fuel tap.
It is genuinely
which
a fuel
you
tap.
have to turn on and off.
I know, amazing.
And that leads to a carburettor.
What's one of those?
Well, it's the thing that mixes the fuel in it. I haven't seen one for a long time.
That's like proper
and look at
retro.
This. Look at this. This is really
Does
cool.
it get better?
When did you last see a road bike with
Never.
a kickstart?
I insist on seeing you start it like that later on.
Later on, maybe.
Choke? I can see a choke.
I know.
A manual choke.
People aren't going to know how to use this.
No, there needs to be a whole booklet. Well, you're talking equipment. This is boring, but it's very sensible. A little rack for carrying stuff.
It is. And
Not
even
on the Scrambler, I see.
on here, there's a tiny thing, but there's these hooks to tie stuff on.
And talking of tying stuff, how about, you never believe this,
a helmet lock.
That's amazing, the thought of everything. I really like it. I mean, you're about to point out the clocks.
Very nice. Simple,
Yeah, simple,
retro,
but they look
and
quality.
really nice little tiny sort of bullet indicators, which you don't,
And of course the spoke wheels, and I particularly like the blacked out rims on the Scrambler.
Very nice.
And the blacked out headers for that matter. You were pointing out though, why have we got the black bars on this and the chrome and the...
Oh, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. You know what? I bet they'll let you mix and match.
You probably would. You can't really talk about quality until you know the price, can you?
That's very true, and that's the big one. How
Are you
much
ready?
is it going for? I am. I'm ready to be shocked, actually.
48,000 rand.
I'm shocked, but not in the way I thought. I thought it'd be more than that. 48 grand, that's a lot of bike for the money.
But I tell you what, you know what you're getting? It's metal. There's
Yeah.
not a bit of plastic anywhere. Mudguards, side panels.
That's quality. Look at the state. I mean, you're not breaking anything on this.
No.
Because, well, this is definition of over-engineered. I think an elephant could stand on those pegs.
There is more metal in that brake lever than there is on most modern Japanese bikes.
Oh, you can make a whole KTM out of that lever. No worries at all. It's spoke
fine.
rims and everything. Look, I mean, we can only say at a cursory glance, but for 48 grand, that's... Well, that's cheaper than all your little BMW 310s and
Everything.
KTM 3s, cheaper than everything.
Yeah.
And it's for 400.
It is.
Yes, let's get down to the nitty-gritty. Give me some numbers, Harry.
Be prepared to be excited.
I'm prepared.
26 brake horsepower.
Honestly not that excited.
30 newton meters of torque.
Yeah, I can live with that.
151 kilograms.
Really?
Yeah. Well, it's made of lots and
Well, I
lots of
thought it would be
metal.
250, to be honest, so that's not bad.
not
That's
bad.
not bad at all.
And it does say here,
Yes.
27-degree climbing capacity.
I presume that's for this, the Scrambler version.
You've got to hope so. I'm not quite sure.
I don't really know what that means.
And
So
then
moving swiftly on,
3.2 litres per 100 fuel economy.
which is not a lot, is
Not
it?
very much at all for 48,000
promising.
rand. Should we take him for a ride?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
If we're talking performance, then we got to talk about the engine first. And as I pull out of the studio, that's a bit weird. That's the fittest 26 horses I've ever felt. Maybe that's the 30 newton meters of torque in there. It's styled to look like a twin because all those old Brit bikes were. But as you can hear from the soundtrack, it is a single, and it's a proper fruity little sound. It definitely has a mid-range. Getting to near 6,000, between 6 and 7, it's actually 7.5, 8. I tell you what, that's a lot more than I was expecting from 400 cc's of single-cylinder engine. And it's not even that vibey.
So Matt's just spoken about the engine, and it is a perky little performer, isn't it? That's not bad for 26 brake horsepower. But what about the chassis and the suspension? I mean, I've got to say, it might not be top-end components, but it's really smooth and well-controlled suspension. I've got to say this. I shouldn't be surprised, but that is quite nice, actually. Pretty much they are the same chassis, but I've got a feeling this might have a little softer rear suspension looking at the springs, and possibly a little more travel, but it's minimal.
Okay, enough of that. Let's talk about braking. And we'll stay with the Scrambler because as far as we can tell, they're basically using the same systems. On the back end, we've got a drum brake. At the front, we've got a single disc, which looks quite meaty and large, and a kind of caliper which looks like a caliper. So only thing for it is to test them, handily play stop street, grab everything, lock up the rear. Yes, I'm definitely alive. I'd say the brakes work. The front's a little bit weedy. The rear is useful, but obviously no ABS. But what do you expect? You know what I mean? It's and remember, actually, this is a good point. It's brand new. There's like 20 Ks on the clock, so the brakes probably need bedding in a bit.
Right, I'm now on the standard or the roadster version, and to be honest, it doesn't really feel that much different from a riding position point of view. It's just as comfortable, there's just as much room. Switchgear, okay, it's not Rolls-Royce quality, but you're not paying Rolls-Royce money, are you? Well, if anything, the standard bike feels a little bit more punchy in performance. It sounds a lot more throaty because it's got a 2-into-2 exhaust, whereas the rotor's got 2-into-1. So it actually sounds a bit more beaty, and it does seem to go a little bit better. But on that note, I'm sure that is just about an hour that we've had to test these two bikes. So I better get heading back before the producers throw a wobbly.
Well, It is undoubtedly time, and I mean just time, for a verdict. I reckon we got 2 minutes before the hour is up.
I think we're about 30 seconds. So what's your verdict?
I'll tell you what, before we even get into that verdict thing, you know what you sort of can't put a number on is, this looks very much like a kind of 60s throwback, doesn't it?
That, especially with the scrambler look.
I feel like Steve McQueen on this thing. It's just, God, look, I know it don't look like
No,
him or
you
anything.
don't look like Steve McQueen, no.
But it's got that cool factor. How much is cool worth? I tell you, it's worth more than 48 grand.
That is true. These are both... I love them. I actually really...
I'm totally
for the money,
surprised.
and just for a little sort of... Well, just a run-around bike, just have some fun on, I think they're brilliant.
OK, no beating around the bush. It is verdict time. We have, as you can see, 4 options.
Yes.
I don't know about you, H, but for me, this is a no-brainer.
It's an absolute no-brainer. I would have one of these in a heartbeat. It wouldn't even be a case of, let's just go and have a look and... No, having one.
Buy immediately. Simple as that.